Greetings and welcome to the Cerebral Women Art Talks podcast. I'm Phyllis Hollis, your host. As an extension of my Instagram page, Cerebral Women, this podcast offers insights into the visual art world. I interview artists, mainly artists of color and female artists who will freely articulate what inspires their creativity. In addition, you'll hear interesting perspectives from dedicated art professionals who work with artists and the art institutions that feature them. I'm confident that collectively, these individuals will indeed stimulate your mind as they do our eyes. Please know these interviews are conducted in my Manhattan apartment, so please forgive the background sounds of city life. Welcome to the Cerebral Women Art Talks podcast. This episode features Edra Soto, a Puerto Rican-born artist, educator, and co-director of outdoor project space, The Franklin. She instigates meaningful, relevant, and often difficult conversations surrounding socioeconomic and cultural oppression, erasure of history, and loss of cultural knowledge. Her recent solo exhibitions include Comfort Station in Chicago, Illinois in 2024, and in 2023, Hyde Park Art Center in Chicago, and the Institute of Contemporary Art in San Diego, California. Her work's been featured in notable recent group exhibitions, including the Carnegie Museum of Art in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, the Museum of Contemporary Art, Chicago, Illinois, the Whitney Museum of American Art in New York, and El Museo del Barrio in New York. Edra has been awarded the Joan Mitchell Foundation Painters and Sculptures Grant, the Bemis Center's Ray Kaneko Award, the U.S. Latinx Art Forum Fellowship, and MacArthur Foundation International Connections Fund. She has received numerous public commissions: the Public Art Fund at the Doris C. Friedman Plaza at Central Park in New York, Riyadh in Saudi Arabia, Central Wharf Park in Boston, the Chicago Architecture Biennial, Terminal 5 at O'Hare International Airport, and the Chicago Botanic Garden, to name a few. Her work is in the collection of institutions including the Whitney Museum of American Art in New York, Perez Art Museum, Miami, and the Museum of Contemporary Art of Chicago. Please visit cerebralwomen.com for her expanded bio and enjoy this episode featuring Edra Soto. Edra, welcome to my podcast. I'm looking forward to our conversation.
Thank you, Phyllis. Nice to meet you.
Thank you. When did you discover your artistic passion?
I think it was in college. I was an incredibly shy person growing up from elementary all the way through high school. Just shy, a daydreamer as well. And I think in college, in high school, I felt some validation. I will get involved, make drawings for different events, like a play for the school theater or the volleyball tournament. I will make drawings, and I was very enthusiastic about it. I felt like every single time I make something, everybody was excited about it. So I thought, okay, I think this is something. And that made me enthusiastic about involving other people. And in my high school year, I had an art club, and I won a prize. It was a trophy. They gave me a trophy. And then I saved this trophy. And some years later, I made an art piece with the trophy.
I love that. I love that.
Anyway, but that was early on.
And how do you define your practice?
Well, I believe I'm interested in creating things that connect with others, maybe because of that handicap that I had to foster for so many years of being so shy. I felt that art gave me some knowledge and tools to explore forms of connection. And, I'm usually push myself to in creating a variety of entry points when I make work. So I tend to, embrace the interdisciplinarity aspects of the work because it just allow me to go in all these different directions.
So how would you say your technique has developed or changed over the years?
Well, I think that my technique is connected to the ways I challenge mechanisms for engagement. I like to think about how people relate to a place or to a situation. I'm an observer. I've been an avid observer since I was a child. And I sometimes believe that I create a whole narrative with my observations. So stories that I believe, that I think of when I'm imagining, like by observing. So I think the way that when I think about technique, I think about exploring forms of engagement. What is maybe more than anything else, because once the work is done, I want to imagine how people will respond to it, and also if it actually was worth making it in the first place.
If you weren't an artist, what other career path do you think you would have chosen?
Well, I'm not sure at all. And that's a great question, because I right now, I don't know. I don't have a clue. I do think maybe something more pragmatic, way more pragmatic, maybe something related to helping others or working with animals. I just think that will be satisfying for me.
What materials do you use in your work?
I use all kinds of materials. I don't have a particular repertoire of material because I'm responding to an idea, an environment. My work is very site responsive. And as you know, I also make public art, which sometimes it needs to be adapted to durability and outdoor setting. So the materials really depend on what kind of project I want to create. So I guess if I have to explain it in some terms, like maybe I'm project-based. It's not necessarily, maybe this doesn't make sense to a lot of people, but maybe for me to explain just how I work, I think about what is the purpose of the work, who is connecting to, and then I think about what will be appropriate. It's like making a gift, like making the perfect gift. So you cannot always give the same thing to, to different people. I don't base it completely on me, if that's another layer that I maybe relevant, because it does have my taste and my criteria and it's my creation, but it's trying to communicate. So when you're trying to communicate, you have to also navigate, the house, right? How this is going to happen. How are you going to make the connection?
Yeah. So I often ask artists, do they think about their audience while they're creating? And you obviously do.
Yeah, in fact, my work sometimes looks quite empty without the interaction. See, like there's a difference between the public art and the studio work that I make, which I consider a bit more personal, and I can indulge more in personal feelings, things that, I can be vulnerable and just kind of give it all there. And with public art, I feel very fortunate because I think I have met my, I don't know, my equal in terms of how the aesthetics that I can embrace through public art, the compromises don't feel like compromises. To me, I love giving. I love thinking that I'm making something that will be enjoyed by others. So, in my upbringing was quite influenced by mainstream culture, because when you grow up in Puerto Rico mainstream, that was a huge part of the cultural impact and my formation. So when you go to grad school, you become an artist, and that all those things are assessed, I guess. But when you leave grad school, then you're back into your thinking, how do I rescue who I was? And how do I advocate for who I was in ways that can be understood by many? So that is a big challenge. It's a fun challenge as well to me. It just makes me feel whole.
Well, great. Thank you. Aren't we lucky? How do you keep learning?
By collaborating, by continuing to be curious. I love art. Art gave me the opportunity, I think, to become a better learner. I think I didn't care about learning so much in high school. I think I was a mediocre student, and I wasn't happy there about it. But when I saw, and I think this happened in college, when I start understanding the service of art, what is the purpose, what can it do, how it influences and enriches and forms culture. That was incredible. That was such a life-saving experience. And here I am today.
Yeah, that is wonderful. Wow. Do you feel Hispanic or Latinx art can be defined?
That is a hard question because sometimes things need to be defined to communicate, catalog, right? But I think that everybody will feel the same about their culture. Like, it's so hard to define Hispanic or Latinx cultures, like scholars debate all these terms. And as a Latina, I question it myself, but not in that impassionate way, I guess, because I think about my upbringing in an island and that is colonized, that have all this American impact. And then that was a huge part of my life. I lived there 26 years. And then moving to the United States it was a culture shock. I couldn't believe how big that culture shock was. I could not believe that my demeanor, my mannerism that come from a Caribbean person were so shocking to people here in the U.S.,
Right.
One thing that, this is a great interview because we're not talking so much about the content of the work, but we're talking about how it happens, which is fantastic. This is not what a lot of people write about. And so you get a true insight.
Yes.
Somebody's lives and what make them do what they do. But I feel like I fell in love with my husband because he was one of those few people, besides being, he was awesome. And we did fall in love truly deeply. But like his way, his kindness and his respect to our differences was exceptional.
Yeah.
And that is sad thing to say and admit, going to a, really respected art school. I just felt, places are formed by people, and when there's a lot of privilege, sometimes the privilege comes from certain places. And at the time that I went to grad school, there were not many of my kind. And so, yeah, but it was kind of shocking, to be honest, I did felt a lot of support from faculty that I work with, people that were not there competing with me or, anything like that. They were there to support me. And maybe that also makes a difference when you're in an environment that people feel like they're competing, which is also so sad because how you are going to measure sometimes somebody's life experience, how you measure that being better than somebody else's.
Yeah, all experiences. Thank you for that. So, what is the role of drawing in your work?
Well, drawing is the beginning of everything. Every idea, notations, anything that can help you shape and define what the project is going to be. So I make a lot of lists. And that's not a drawing, but that is the beginning of my process. So I have copious amounts of books and notes that I probably should burn before I die. I'm very, it's weird. I think I'm very private in like how things are made. And then I just want people to experience the work outside of the studio. So I don't encourage studio visits much. And it's an important place for me, of course, because everything starts or happens there. But art happens everywhere. So drawing could be on paper as well as on my computer. Sometimes I sketch using Photoshop, and interesting things can come from that experience. And I start using some of those forms of making an image to draw. I like the uniqueness of it, the flatness of it. It kind of also are drawings that I start doing when I start making public art. So I feel that they're tied up with the public art practice as well.
How did your art professors impact your work?
Maybe the more significant impact from my professors came to my life during my years doing the MFA at the School of the Art Institute. I met people like Deborah Borman and Candida Alvarez, who I collaborated with both of them. I curated Candida on an exhibition at the Cultural Center. I collaborated with Deborah Borman in a collective. But their advice and also their kindness, of course, Candida and I were one of the few Puerto Ricans at the School of the Art Institute at that time, during 1999, 2000. And Candida gave me some of the best advice. We were talking about the summer and what was my summer like and what kind of work I was making. So I told her two stories. I told her the work that I was making in my studio, and then I told her the story of what I was doing during my free time and how I was decorating the bedroom of the apartment I used to live in Wicker Park. And the kind of enthusiasm that I expressed about decorating my bedroom and how I did it made her respond that perhaps I should look at what I'm doing in the bedroom as my artwork.
Wow.
And that was definitely a huge eye-opener and something that really helped me validate intentions and art making, not really art making, but things that I wanted to make that I never counted or thought of as serious or important. It just changed everything, so we are friends, it's somebody that I love and greatly admire and appreciate, grateful for her friendship and her support throughout the years, because it is rare that so many years, right? It's been, oh my God, 25 years of, and seeing our evolution, our careers evolve, exhibiting together, for the first time together at the Whitney Museum through the exhibition that Marcela Guerrero curated that was titled No Existe, Mundo, Poshuracán. She told me this is the first time I'm exhibiting at the Whitney, and say, wow, it's incredible that this is happening to both of us. And so happy that she get to experience her success during her lifetime, because so many artists that have, I think Deborah Borman, she was immensely talented, and she had a rough death. She died of cancer. And we were friends. I visited her at the hospital. My husband was so sad. And she mentioned her career. And I was like, oh my God, at this point of your life, this is what you can think about, And I believe that she had a huge following and people that really respect and admire her. But I think what she was envisioning maybe didn't happen in her lifetime. And I think I am going to die satisfied. I'm going to be like, if nothing else happened, which I hope not, but I'm very happy with things that have happened in my career that I'm incredibly grateful, because it's a privilege. You have fulfilled me. You have I don't know. I cannot describe. And I feel like that I hope she's celebrating every day.
Yeah.
Because as she should.
So what are you excited about right now?
Oh, I'm excited about this, talking to you, Felix.
Thank you.
You are a legend, and everybody should know it. I'm so happy about this moment, having my work at Central Park in New York through Public Art Fund is an incredible feeling. I'm looking forward to what's coming up next year. Feel someone and passionate about some of these projects that I'm always thinking about the opportunity to be better or do something better or grow in this process. I think that's what keeps me connected and motivated. I wanna have the opportunity to craft the best version of what I can do, of what I do. Maybe I don't know how to say that exactly, but I do want to be better and do better. I'm sincerely motivated. I'm so motivated. And all this validation helps, because it kind of give you some confidence that I think it's not natural in me. I have to really build it up. Yeah.
It's good to be appreciated.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, the Central Park installation, people engage with it.
Thank you.
Edra, I've really enjoyed this conversation. I love your perspective on things. So this is the final question. What do you feel is the purpose of art? And as an artist, what is your role?
I think my personal role is to advocate for working class communities, people like me. I always have felt that is my purpose. I just think I didn't know how to explain it in my youth or in the past. It is so confusing nowadays. What is the purpose of art? Because there's so many things that are necessary to attend and important. But I'm glad that this is something that help us survive, help us connect to one another. As a maker, it helped me communicate. I think I attach the importance of art in our culture to our necessity to express and reconciliate, survive, fight, advocate. There's so many things to it. There's so many things that allow us to do. And it's everything, it's imagination, it's reality, all embrace. I'm not sure if I arrived, but that's what I have right now.
Yeah, no, it's wonderful. I appreciate everything you do and what motivates you to create as you do. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Felix, for your work.
Thank you for listening to Cerebral Women Art Talks podcast. For additional content, please visit cerebralwomen.com and be sure to follow Cerebral Women on Instagram.